Stephen, Michael Locksley, of course, moving on to the head coaching position at Maryland. He was simply named by a number of services as the offensive coordinator of the year in college football, and has done a tremendous job, obviously, to ascend to a Big Ten school at that position. DJ Durkin unceremoniously let go following all the issues there off the field. And then Cam Cameron, who I thought would have been a viable candidate, considering what he was able to accomplish with a team that almost reached postseason play amidst all those issues, almost beat Ohio State, pulled off a win against Texas in game one, but it turns out to be Michael Locksley. So what are the Terps getting in Mr. Locksley?
Well, first and foremost, they are getting a really a coach that can understand the players around him. And you got to keep in mind, Coach Locks last year kind of found his safe haven in Alabama football with the tragic loss of his son, his youngest son, who passed away in Maryland a week on the night after, on the night of Alabama's first game of the season against Florida State in 2017. And after that moment, a lot of the coaching staff and the players were urging Coach Locks to go home, be with family, be able to grieve during this time. And I remember Coach Locks told Nick Saban and told the players, look, I need to be here. This is my way to cope. I have to be here. This is the only way I can get my mind, off the situation. And seeing how he was able to put the team and the players above an internal thing he was going through really resonated with that team. So the one thing Maryland's getting is somebody that's not only from the area as a lot of Washington, D.C., but they're getting a coach that has a heart for the players and has a heart for a program. Now, I understand in his first two stints at Maryland, it didn't go the way he would have liked them to go. He was there from 1997 to 2002 as a running backs coach and running game coordinator, and then from 2012 to 2015 as an offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, and interim head coach. But for this to be another time around for him in a situation where he's older now, he's wiser now, he's set up under Nick Saban for the last 3 years, 2016 to this season, has kind of gotten the feel for how a program needs to be ran and how a program should be ran. I think he takes these lessons back to Maryland and is able to be successful with those. Prior to coming to Alabama, during his time at Maryland, he did produce a 2,000-yard career wide receiver in Stephon Diggs, who's right now tearing it up in the National Football League for the Minnesota Vikings. So there is that aspect, but I feel like he takes what he's learned at the University of Alabama and he applies that to the Terrapins.
Locksley is a Washington, D.C. native who grew up a Maryland fan. He attended the football and basketball games. He made the comment at his introductory press conference that there were always 5 teams that he kept track of. At the end of the weekend, he always made sure to know what happened at his current team. Obviously, he's coaching, that it was always the Washington Redskins on the NFL level, that he loved them to death. And his former high school, of course, and then he had to always keep up with Maryland football. So regardless of where he traveled, which took him all the way out to New Mexico, obviously, that was his one full head coaching stint that didn't necessarily turn out well, with just 3 wins in 34 games and some off-the-field issues. But as you mentioned, Stephen, he's removed from that. I think we've seen similar situations when a coach was moved into a head coaching spot. Maybe they weren't quite ready for the CEO. So it's such a removal from being an assistant from at a position standpoint or a coordinator to the head coaching level with all the issues that you have to deal with and the CEO aspect of the role. And obviously he's done an outstanding job at Alabama. So based on what he provided at Alabama, you mentioned some of the players that he highlighted and some of his accomplishments, both in coaching Stephon Diggs and also what he did at Alabama. What kind of wrinkles do you think that he would bring to the Maryland offense that would distinguish them?
I think it would bring a lot of the RPO scheme. Now, of course, once he gets to Maryland, as you and I both know, Mark, recruiting is going to be a big-time deal for him. Finding that quarterback that can manipulate the offense he wants to run, whether Coach Knox wants to be a spread guy which he has a lot of spread tendencies. During his time at Illinois as a coordinator, he had the likes of Juice Williams at quarterback in 2008, and Aurelius Bend at wide receiver. So depending on what type of scheme he wants to run, whether it's pro style, whether it's spread, you got to recruit the quarterback and basically see what type of talent do you already have on the roster returning to Maryland. But the one thing I can see from him, what he's going to want to run, it's going to be a live spread with some pro-style tendencies in there. And he's going to want to get the ball downfield. He's going to want to have some vertical passing attack to his game. But then at the same time, he'll throw a jet sweep in there. He'll throw a pop pass in there. He'll throw a little end-around thing, something to keep the defense off balance and try to create plays to the perimeter. So he's a quick game guy. He can stretch you vertically. It just all comes down to, once he gets to Maryland, Mark, what is the talent that he sees? How much does he need to recruit? And if there is already a quarterback in place. If not, you got to get the quarterback. But I think when he first gets there, he'll evaluate the talent and he'll go from there. But just coming from me, I think you can expect to see quite a bit of spread with some pro-style tendencies in there that he's picked up from Dan Enos.
We've got Stephen M. Smith on the line from Touchdown Alabama to talk the Tide, as they will, of course, take on the Oklahoma Sooners in the college football playoff at the Orange Bowl in Miami in just under 4 weeks. We've talked Michael Locksley, of course. His recruiting challenge, as you mentioned, is right in front of him. DJ Durkin was actually a guy that recruited well at Maryland, despite some of the issues on the field and off the field, of course, we discussed. But on the field, trying to win games in the Big Ten has been difficult for Maryland, getting to postseason play, usually winning just 1 or 2 games in the Big Ten. But DJ Durkin had built a base of talent that was pretty impressive. He had top 25 classes the last 2 years. Now I'm checking out 247 Sports composite that has the current Maryland class, as everyone might expect, based on the off-the-field issues in particular, and now the coaching change, last in the Big Ten, 85th in the country. So we'll see what Michael Locksley is able to do to rally that toward the second signing day in February, and then also develop those players as well, but work with the current group of 2 classes that seem to be pretty formidable, that should compete to a certain level in the Big Ten.